So who was the sexiest medieval warrior unit on the tier list? Frogging up the F tier is the French Knight. Turn to any page in a history book and you'll probably find these chaps overconfidently charging to their demise, and most horrifically of all, they're French. Dying in the D tier is the Genoese crossbowman, mercenary used by many armies during the Middle Ages because having ranged units was quite a good idea. However, when they weren't hiding behind castle walls, they were quite reliant on their pavise shields to cover them while reloading, and at the Battle of Crécy in 1346, these things got left on the baggage train way back as they got ordered into battle and they had to fight the English longwomen completely naked and got a good spanking because of it. Also dogging in the D tier are the housecarls, bodyguards and retainers of the Scandinavian and Saxon kings who swung their giant members around with enough force to cleave a man in two. Most memorably making up the backbone of the Saxon army at the Battle of Hastings, they loyally fought to their death to fulfil their oaths even after their king Harold Godwinson got kebabbed by an arrow. Moving up into the C tier is the housecarls of a Mediterranean glow-up, the Varangian Guard. They were the elite bodyguard of the Byzantine Emperor, coming all the way from Scandinavia, a deliberate policy as it meant they lacked political ambition and ties and were unlikely to overthrow him, being loyal to the throne itself and not the man on it. C for cataphract because I love a bit of alliteration. Byzantine heavy cavalry that charged in a wedge formation with mounted archers intermixed designed to drive a hole in your enemy's line for your infantry to clean up. Their charge was designed to be a decisive hammer blow, however if it failed it was like overturning a truck as their formation was extremely rigid and hard to reform, so it was advised you had a second one of these spare just in case you missed. Banjoing in the B tier is the Mamluks, elite soldiers of the Muslim world who had been taken as slaves as children and trained as warriors their entire life. By 1250 they had gained enough power to overthrow their masters, the Ayyubids, become their own sultanate where they stopped the Mongol advance south and sent the Crusaders packing from the Holy Land. Jumping in the A tier are the Crusader military orders, the Templars, the Hospitallers and the Teutonic Knights. These were the backbones of the Crusader armies in the medieval knight's wet dream. They devoted their life to God and slaying the infidel, often fighting against overwhelming odds as they refused to retreat as that was dishonourable to God, sometimes to great success, and sometimes they got absolutely slaughtered. Agincourting in the A tier is the English longbowmen, who put England on the map as an effective military force in Europe due to their great influence in victories during the 100 Years' War, and they were so effective that England armies often comprised of 75% of these buggers. And sloppy topping into the S tier is the Hussites and their war wagons. A bunch of peasants who innovated with weaponry and utilised these medieval tanks to such great effect along with their legendary commander, the one-eyed Jan Žižka, to beat off not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 anti-Hussite crusades. Absolute legends of the game.